Early. Call to order the June 17th meeting of the Conestoga Valley Board of School Directors. I want to welcome everyone that's here as well as those that join us online, and ask if you'll please join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Martin, could we have attendance, please?
We have 7 school directors present tonight. Mr. Gensel and Mrs. Kapka are absent.
But we do have an agenda. This is our second meeting of the month where most official votes are taken, many of which are listed on a consent agenda, which includes those items which were routine or have been discussed at our work session last week. Our agendas and all documents attached to them are on the website. So I will welcome, are there any changes or additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, there are 2 changes. The superintendent's report reflects 2 new hires that happened over the weekend. They are noted in red. And there is a revision to the final budget resolution. And Mrs. Hunsinger will give an explanation during her presentation.
Okay. That said, are there any, try that again. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have an agenda. Dr. Hartman. Oh no, board commendations. That's me first, isn't it? Congratulations to Conestoga Valley High School senior Rowan Ainsbury, a Lancaster Lebanon League Boys Volleyball All-Star. Ainsbury was named to the second team in Liberia. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. That may be a typo.
We'll have, does anyone know
No,
what
it is
that
not a
means?
typo. I looked it up. It has something to do with volleyball.
It's a
like
special
defensive
player.
specialist.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a
Position in the.
Oh, it's a position. Okay,
I
thank
thought it
you.
was Lancaster, Lebanon.
Congratulations to the all elementary students Juniper Johnson and Kinsley Fisher, who received Good Citizen Awards from that Senator Scott Markin and his team at the Olds final PBIS assembly of the school year, where they were honored for their hard work, respect, and dedication. Congratulations to 9 Conestoga Valley High School student athletes who committed to extending their athletic career upon graduation from Conestoga Valley. at the May Spring Commitment Ceremony. They are Rowan Amesbury, Riley Bateson, Owen Fisher, Miles Jackson, Isabella Johnson, Megan Kime, Luke Landis, Hannah Strong, and Aiden Zimmerman. The Lancaster County Career Technical Center held its certificate award ceremony on May, and congratulations to the 10 Conestoga Valley High School students who were recognized. Students of merit are Bryce Bowman, Logan Breeden, and Noah Everly. Martin Bryan won a LCCTF Workforce Grant. Adela Fedorenko won workforce grant as dental assistant. Matthew Groff for welding. Sophia Lee, also dental assistant. Yashina Vasquez, advanced health careers. Congratulations to Conestoga Valley High School girl lacrosse player Jerry Kunjapu and Adeline Hartleb, who were named Lancaster Lebanon All-Stars. Kunjapu was named to the Section 1 team and Hartland a Section 1 All-Star. Congratulations to 5 Conestoga Valley High School boys lacrosse players who were named Lancaster Lebanon League All-Stars for the 2024 season. Justin Corson was named to first team, Noah Note. Isaac Sensing, Noah Harrison, and Jason Byers were on the second team. In addition, Harrison was CB's recipient of the league's Jim Flora Class Act Award, given to one player on each team. Congratulations to the Conestoga Valley bowling team who competed at the 2024 National High School Bowling Championship at Leisure Lanes. The Buckskins placed 8th in the nation. In addition, Daniel Subers placed 25th overall in boys singles, while teammate Josiah Kessler finished 37th and Ryan Mickle placed 60th. The national championship weekend included 600 bowlers from 25 states. 4 Conestoga Valley High School softball players earned Lancaster Lebanon League All Honors for the 2024 season. Congratulations to freshman Riley Heller, sophomore Bianca Henry, senior Isabella Rodriguez, sophomore Lisa Smith, all of whom were honorable mention. Now, Dr. Hartman.
All right. Good evening. As you can tell from the superintendent's report this evening, quite a few new hires on the agenda. So I appreciate the hard work of our administrative team in securing those positions. We weren't able to get all of them here tonight, a lot of vacation plans and so forth, but we do have 6 new buckskins I'd like to introduce this evening. So first, we have a familiar face with us this evening, John Werner. I thought John was working undercover at first when I saw him walking in a suit, so I wasn't sure what was going on there. But so Mr. Werner served as our SRO from January 2014 through June of 2017, and again from January 2021 up until the present. In total, he has been an East Lampeter Township police officer since 1998, where in addition to being an SRO, he has served as a member of the South Central Counterterrorism Task Force Strike Team and has served as a crisis and hostage negotiator with the Lancaster County CERT team. John will be retiring from East Lampeter Township and joining us as our first ever Director of Safety and Security. So, interestingly enough, John actually originally went to school to be a teacher. So he has his teaching degree from York College as well. So, sort of got there.
Always taking the detour.
Yeah, but we're happy to have John in this position. We know it's with all of our safety and security is obviously our top priority of our students, and it's an important position to have in this age of not only compliance and all the state reporting and things we have to do, safety, security related, just as far as bringing in best practices and building those connections with our community agencies is going to be valuable. So we're happy to have you here, John.
Thanks.
Next up, Adam McGraw will be joining us as our Director of IT. Most recently, Adam has served as the Director of Instructional Technology and Professional Growth for the West Shore School District. In his 18-year career, he has also served as an instructional technology coach and a business, computer, and information teacher in the Indiana Area School District, Elizabeth Forward Area School District, and Derry Area School District. He has a bachelor's in business education, a master's in adult education and communications, technology with a specialist in instructional tech specialist certification. Well, that was a lot to get out. And a principal certification, all from IUP. And he has also completed coursework with the Penn Literacy Network through University of Pennsylvania. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
All right. Karen Webster will be our new school psychologist at the middle school. Welcome, Karen. She has a BA in psychology, an MA in experimental psychology, and an MA in a certificate of advanced study in school psychology, all from Towson University. She also has completed doctoral work through IUP. She has worked as a psychologist in a variety of settings in both the private and public sector, including working as a school psychologist for 19 years with both Lincoln Intermediate Unit 12 and the Southwestern School District. So, welcome, Karen.
I can't wait to find out what experimental psychology is.
Well, we'll have to talk, but.
Yeah.
I thought it would, well.
I just hope it doesn't apply to me, that's all.
No, we don't literally experiment on, it's experimenting around.
Oh, okay. That sounded a little suspicious.
All right. Bethany Anderson will be joining us as a speech language pathologist. So, Bethany has her Bachelor's of Arts in Communication Sciences and Disorders from Westchester University and her Master's degree in Speech Language Pathology from Towson University. She has spent the past 8 years working in adult and geriatric speech and language support at the Conestoga View Nursing and Rehab Center and Cimbria Rehab, and she is excited for her first opportunity working in a school setting. So, welcome. All right. And next, I'd like to introduce our new assistant principal at Fritz Elementary School, Mr. Lawrence Bell. So, Lawrence has been an elementary teacher in the Cranberry Area School District and an elementary teacher and MTSS interventionist in the State College Area School District. He also has assistant principal experience with Central Dauphin School District and School District of Lancaster. Mr. Bell has a bachelor's in elementary education from Clarion University and his master's in curriculum and instruction and principal's certificate from Gannon University. So welcome, Lawrence.
Thank you. And have somebody new to plug into MTSS.
What's that?
I said it's great to have someone new to be able to
We have
plug
some experience in that,
MTSS
certainly,
program.
absolutely.
And, it sounds like there's a little different take on it.
Yep. So finally, we have another assistant principal to introduce, Mr. Mike Resch. Yeah. Mike will be an assistant principal at Leola Elementary School. So Mr. Resch has served as a guidance counselor in the Hempfield School District since 2010. He also has served as an adjunct professor of psychology and counseling at both Lancaster Bible College and Lebanon Valley College. He holds a bachelor's of psychology from Bloomsburg University, a master's of education in school counseling from Lehigh University, his principal's certification from Penn State, and a master's in educational psychology from the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. So, any schools you haven't covered there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I want to talk to this lady with that psychology background. We'll probably understand it.
All right, that concludes my report.
Are there any board comments?
Oh, I meant to say last week when we talked about graduation,
Mm-hmm.
the young lady who did the deaf interpretation was excellent, just excellent.
I would have no way of knowing how well. No, what I'm saying is, sometimes the people that need that service will let you know if it was done well.
But her whole demeanor, everything.
Yeah.
She was just excellent.
I wanted to add one thing. This meeting is part of our recognition. This meeting is our last meeting of the school year, even though the work keeps going on. And it had me thinking of all the people that we need to thank. The list got too long. From the superintendent to the department people, to the board itself. You don't understand what they do unless you sit in that chair. But the directors, the staff, the clerks, the paraprofessionals, the aides, the people that keep the grounds in the building in place, and I know I'm skipping someone, but all of them do such an excellent job. And it does take a lot of really good and real talented people to run a school district, and I don't think we always thank them as much as we might like to. And of course, come next year, it will just all start all over again. Okay, correspondence, Mrs. Martin, do we have any?
No, we do not.
One of these days we will. This is the first opportunity for anyone in the public who would like to make comments on one of our agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to speak? No? CBEA, are there any comments? I don't know if there's anyone here. Or other employee groups? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The first thing I would like to do is remove item M, the 900 series. I think we have some things we should talk about before that. Is there any other issue that anyone would like to address? I will bring to your attention on the superintendent's report. It includes the approval of the two new positions, Director of, I don't have this right, Director of Academic Support and Director of Safety. Since we're hiring people, we need to make sure that we've approved the new positions. That being,
I did. GG, can we remove that one for a separate vote?
absolutely, is that for, just for a separate vote or for discussion?
I mean, I don't need to discuss about it,
You
and
just-
I just would like
okay.
to vote separately.
Then I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda except items G, G, and M.
So moved.
I second.
We're going to have to do roll call vote for this, there are the contracts involved.
Dr. Martin? Aye. Mrs. Fisher?
Aye.
Mr. Hurst?
Aye.
Mr. Talley?
Aye.
Mr. Eby?
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge?
Aye.
Mrs. Groff?
Aye. Would you like to then have GG put up for a vote? Is that what-
Yeah. Make a motion to vote on GG,
Do you want a discussion
Separately.
on it? Any reason why you want it separate?
just because,
Discussion.
I mean, we can, it
Well,
was discussed
like a
last week,
motion.
but we can discuss it
Let's
again.
go back for a minute. The motion doesn't have to be just to vote on it. Even if you're gonna vote against it, you can make a motion to
Right.
approve. Okay?
Motion to approve it,
And if, once that's done, if you choose, well, even now, if you choose to make a comment, or if anyone wants to question that, which I think somebody just has.
does anybody want?
Well, if you approve the consent agenda, you approve GG. I just don't know why we're pulling out and voting it separately.
He just like to
Right,
reason.
yeah.
Is there a conflict?
Okay, because I'm gonna vote no on it.
Oh,
No, we
Okay,
assumed that.
because of the discussions in last week, I don't think that it met the criteria that we were held other clubs to, you know, and then, so to say, okay, no,
that's
you
your
know,
point.
like the volleyball, the middle school girls volleyball was a club when we made them be a club for like 15 years or whatever, then I understand then a gaming one comes in within 1 year. Now, it's not even meeting the 2-year criteria that we make most clubs meet and all that kind of stuff. So that was my reasoning
It was an exception to the rule.
on that, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
this isn't a new club. And.
This is only the second year of it though,
Okay, you
correct?
think we should have waited?
Right, that's my,
Okay, I get you.
and then it just blurs the line of if it's a club that the district is directly funding, where do we draw that line?
Yeah.
As far as
That's
in
fair.
every other club that comes and wants money and how you pick and choose and stuff. So that's just my personal,
Yeah.
I love it, I think
That
it's
was-
great, I'm not arguing against,
Yeah.
arguing against it, it's just the district funding it at this point.
Okay. That had been my concern. It's not coming out of the budget that we approved, it's coming out of the building budget for the middle school,
What is?
the money to fund it.
This is included in the 2024 general fund budget.
General fund,
Yes.
okay, I was told that it was coming out of the middle school's building budget.
Which is
is part
wrapped
of
into.
The general fund.
Oh, yeah, I understand,
Yeah,
okay. But I mean, that's
It's a
what's being,
discretionary
it's being
fund.
credited against the
Right.
middle school's money, not the rest.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a motion, to approve GG. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'm sorry, who did the,
Um,
who did the motion?
We'll take a roll call, we'll take a roll call.
Yeah, we'll do a roll call on this one.
And who was second?
I did.
Dr. Martin? Aye. Mrs. Fisher?
Aye.
Mr. Hirsch?
No.
Mr. Talley?
Aye.
Mr. Eby?
Nay.
Mrs. Trowbridge? Aye. Mrs. Brock?
Aye, thank you. Yeah, we
Right,
should
thank you.
stumbled through that, no problem. If you will look at, in the 900 series, the reason I asked for it to be pulled was because of 903. 903 is how we handle public comments. And I thought we ought to review that, because I don't know that it necessarily follows exactly what we want. And I need to have your input. At the very beginning, under authority, it says district residents and taxpayers. It also, we have in our previous policy included parents, because sometimes we have a parent that doesn't live in the district, and we had chosen that they should be allowed to address us. So I'm suggesting that needs fixed, and I'm not sure of what the yellow X with the green over it actually means for employees and students. Does that mean you're adding that? It was an option, and does that mean they're adding it?
Their recommendation is to add that, correct?
I don't know that we need employees, because we have that elsewhere in the agenda, though it's not harmful, but I do think having students there is fine. Could I have some input from you?
For me.
Anybody at this table?
How do we
will
define taxpayer? Cause is it local taxpayer?
Yes. If you have property that pays taxes here, school taxes, then we would give you the right to address certain issues that affect you.
Does that need defined? Cause
Yes. It needs to list those people that qualify to address the board. If someone that doesn't live in the district, and we've had this happen, they come and they wanna, support some sort of general policy, and we limit this by law.
I think what you're saying, Phil, is should we get more specific and say local taxpayer
Yeah.
or district
Oh, I
taxpayer?
see, okay.
Exactly.
Somebody from
we
neighboring
get
district is
federal
a
and
taxpayer.
state funds,
Okay, I
so people,
understand. You'd like to add local,
yes.
okay.
Makes sense.
Does it say specifically anywhere as far as the employees and students?
That's,
You're saying about eliminating it, but does it say,
that we're adding that.
okay, I thought you were
That
saying
was
to
not
not
something that was in
add
the
that.
previous
Yeah.
policy
Okay,
that
right,
PSBA
yeah,
was
okay.
It wasn't
recommending.
there
I thought you were
before.
saying to not add it, and I thought it
Yeah,
was good. Okay.
the yellow means it's new, and if the X is in green, it means we're accepting it.
Okay,
Okay. It talks about expanding the opportunity to provide public comment. I do have technically the power before an important vote to ask if there's anyone in the middle of the meeting that wants to make comments. So I don't know if this is necessary, but I'm okay with it if you all are. A couple paragraphs down, it says, if the board determines there's not sufficient time at the meeting for public comments, the comment period may be referred to the next regular meeting or to a special meeting occurring before the next regular meeting. We've never limited that. There are choices in here where you can say, we will allow, say, 30 minutes for comments. And when the 30 minutes are up, if everyone hasn't done it, that's just too bad. And we've never followed that kind of thing. So if we're not going to limit it, we don't need the right to expand it. That was my thought. Do we leave it in? Do we leave it in just in case we have some strange situation?
Yes, please, because strange situations may happen.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure.
I think that was why the committee, I don't wanna speak for Diana, she's not here, but Julie, do you recall? I think that's,
Yes.
kind of, we had that same conversation.
Yeah.
Gives you that
Yeah.
flexibility.
Just in case.
Okay, the next one is the board shall provide a second public comment period, which we do. Which is after the items for action or deliberation have been completed. That's not where we put it. We put it at the end. So I would like to cross out just that one phrase. After the items for action or deliberation have been completed. Because we put it all the way at the end of our agenda. Not right after the votes.
That's fine.
I see. I see what
Okay,
you're saying.
any problem with that?
No.
Sign in and request to comment. They're saying that we should sign in. The second parentheses, all individuals wishing to comment during the board meeting shall sign in the sheet provided. We've never required people to sign in. Do you want to do that now?
Oh, don't you sign in when you come in?
Yeah.
No, sign in to speak.
Oh, this is a separate sign in, or this is
But if they did
just?
sign
It would be changing our sign in for a person to indicate whether they wanted an opportunity to speak.
Oh,
That's a fairly common practice.
oh, really?
If they check the box, if they wanna speak, and then they change their mind, I mean, whatever.
Well, then they
Yes.
wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
that's
it's like a
fine.
slip of
And
paper you
if
fill out.
What
If
we-
somebody else wants to speak, then they get denied that
Or
opportunity?
what if they didn't check it, but they want to, then decide they want to speak?
Right, that's what I'm saying, do they get denied that, or then we just I feel like if we're just gonna let them speak anyway, then we'll.
I think there are different districts do it different ways. There's some districts who require you to, if you want to speak at the first public comment section, you have to submit ahead of time a request.
And the
that they
topic.
reserve the final public comment for people who didn't sign up ahead of time. It all varies.
Yes,
Okay.
some districts are very strict. We've always been, if you're here and you want to say something, say it. Don't have to tell us beforehand or not.
Well, we've always said though that the first one has to be related to the agenda.
That's it, yeah,
The second one can be
yeah.
extraneous.
So, I just didn't, it's up to you. Do you want to require them to sign in or not?
I wouldn't need to, but if everybody else feels that they would like to sign in.
No
Diane?
need.
I sort of like the idea of signing in.
Signing in to speak? Check the box, sign in and they check the box you're speaking?
Yeah, they can check it if they want to, they don't have to, it doesn't mean they can't speak. It's just sort of a heads up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, but oftentimes the one at the end of the meeting is sometimes because of something we've said.
Yeah.
And they didn't know they were going to want to speak.
That could be sweet,
No.
I did.
Well, I just need to know what the board wants to do. Do you want to leave this or not?
I like the sign in.
I do not need the sign in.
How do you administer
Excuse me?
it? How do you administer it? Somebody has to take the sign in and bring it up here and then we call
I
people or?
guess, I don't know.
I
We'll
just-
figure that out if
I think our
that's.
process is working fine the way it is.
So you said you didn't need them to sign in?
I do not.
Bill?
Yeah.
No?
It's been working fine so far.
Okay.
As long as we have a
Okay.
time limit.
What,
that we can
Well,
We can put that-
we'll get to that.
my question is, when we had the public for the COVID things, and we had so many.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't sign in for that.
No.
right? They just raised their hands.
Our feeling has always been, the least you can do for people is listen to them.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
some board members at times wanted to limit it, my feeling always was, I'll sit here as long as I have to.
Mhm.
Because if you send them home,
Mhm.
not having been heard,
Right.
they're not pleased. Okay.
So just for clarification, if you're not doing that, just so I know what how I'm
Yeah,
doing
I
this.
have that marked as to delete.
So then we're not doing anything under that section, because choose one of the following, we already have the other ones striked out.
Right.
I guess
We're
so.
not doing anything with that section,
Mhm.
I'm just clarifying.
The one thing that is not there, oh, that's next. Under public comment, it says you must direct all comments to the board, but down below it says all statements must be directed to the presiding officer. Now, that idea of, to the presiding officer, is the way it's always been before, to let people know you can't directly question a board member's, position. So that seems a little different, but if it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable to have two different, I'm fine with that. But I wanted to at least bring that much up. I hear crickets. I'm going to Diane first, you're right here.
Reading.
Oh, okay.
Is that statement a change from what it is today,
Um,
under public comment?
I'm not sure. The trouble is PSBA never shows us what was there. They just show us what they're giving us now. And so, you know, it was, I think they usually take it out of Word docs and they fix it up and the old version is lost. This is probably in a different format than what we had before too, so it's hard to say what was there, what wasn't.
Bold type usually means it's new.
Right, okay.
It's all in bold.
Right, it is.
It's all in bold print, the whole thing, start to finish. If you don't think that's a problem, we'll leave it. If you think they should both say the same thing, we'll change it.
I like consistency. Because if it's not consistent, it's confusing.
Okay, so should we change the top one to presiding officer too?
I think so.
Anyone have a problem with that change? Okay, the next is the timing. It does say it's limited to 30, our choice. They didn't pick anything, it seems. And
They picked 30 minutes.
no, mine has no color on it.
Well, there isn't on the first one, but the X is there.
There's an X there at 30 minutes.
Oh, gosh, this is hard to figure
Just
out.
the green is missing there, and on the second.
Again, to what Mrs. Trowbridge said earlier, we always just let them speak. And it says after 30 minutes, anyone that hasn't spoken, it's over.
But it also says that up there at the top that we just talked about, if it determines there's not sufficient time in a meeting for public comments, then we can like jump things around.
Yeah,
So
but this,
why-
That was the conversation that we had, is put a limit to it, but also give the caveat that it could be expanded.
well, then why do we have to put a limit to it if we know, if we all
If we can
agree?
adjust it if need
But
be.
then- But won't it always be for however many people want to speak?
Yeah, you're saying the next meeting, you would be allowing everyone to speak
Yeah, if you,
anyway.
Yeah, if we
So what's the
allow
difference?
that anyway, then why even bother saying there's a 30-minute limit if we're always gonna waive it? That's sort of silly,
right,
isn't it?
right.
I think what it's doing, it's giving the board permission to say, you know, if 75 people want to come and speak on a topic, It's given the board the ability to say, this is a big enough issue, we wanna pause this, we're not gonna allow any more public comment right now, and maybe hold a special meeting to discuss it, or
Right.
something. I think that's what the intent of that is.
Well, then it should say the second I'm sorry, the public comment session at the beginning of the meeting may be limited. That
Correct.
allows us,
Right.
if that's
Yeah, it's
huge.
giving you that,
May rather than shall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. The second public comment period, I'd say the same thing.
Sure.
May. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. We've always had, that I do know we've had. Are we okay with that?
So keep it.
I do remember our last policy did say if you represented a group, you got 20 minutes. I thought that was a bit much, but I'm still willing to consider if they're speaking, because I always ask them, you're speaking for yourself or for a group. So I knew how much time they had. I would still be fine with allowing a group, if someone comes and says, I'm representing these, however many people, a little more than 3 minutes. I think 20 might be too much, but I'm willing to give them more time. What are you willing to do?
For what reason? Like if you're speaking for a group versus speaking for yourself.
I guess the assumption was it was a bigger issue. I don't know. We can leave it at this and, eliminate the group thing.
given one person representing a group, 10 minutes, for example, might save, I guess it could potentially save time.
Yeah.
Instead of having 20 people speak for 3 minutes on the same topic.
It might encourage them to have one person speak for them if they had a little bit more time. How
I
much?
think 20 is excessive though.
I do too.
10 is like max.
You can say a lot.
Okay, we'll add that,
You can, I was a speech major.
10 minutes, is that what you want?
Yeah, is it 10 minutes good?
Okay. They can't see their time, I'm fine with that, no more than once in the same, on the same topic. I think, all of that makes sense. And I think that was my only, I'm trying to think of, I don't think I had anything that we had before. Oh, it doesn't, I don't think it says anything here unless I missed it, because I was looking for it. It doesn't say anything about people that went on the agenda. We do have that. I don't think I missed it. What we had was, anyone that actually was on the agenda has to notify the district office a week before, and they were put on the agenda.
Isn't that part of a different policy?
Hmm?
Isn't that part of a different policy?
I don't know, I just know it isn't here in public comment, I think it was here too. Do you think we could, I'll tell you what, we'll try to find it,
Yeah.
if it's in another policy.
I don't remember reading that. When we went through these,
Yeah,
I don't
well,
remember.
in case it's somewhere else, we'll do a search, see if we
I
can
think
find
it's
it.
in, I don't think it's in the 900s, I think it's in the board procedures section.
Oh, okay, well, we need to check to make sure it's somewhere. We'll make these changes and bring these back next month, if that's okay. Unless you want to approve all except that one policy. Is there some reason why we should worry
I
about
think it's
that?
okay if we.
Okay, we'll do it as a full packet at the next meeting. So we're not going to vote on that number at all, right? Okay, that brings us down to the budget. Oh, I did forget to make that one announcement, I'm sorry, I forgot. In approving the consent agenda under superintendent's report, if you'll notice, that also includes the approval of those 2 new positions. You have to approve positions if you're hiring somebody. to take them. I should have noted that.
You don't have to take a vote to table the 900 to.
No,
No.
we just didn't
No, we
approve
just
it.
withdrew it.
And that'll include in the minutes.
It'll just be missing and we'll pick it up.
Okay, this is it. So we didn't make any changes to the budget since last week, no new information that would have been significant to make any changes. At the beginning of the meeting, Mrs. Martin did reference that there was a revised document. Attached under the approval of the budget is the final budget resolution. Unfortunately, we had a bad number in there under the total expenditures. The corrected resolutions attached, the total expenditures to be approved in this budget is $93,095,517. So that'll, as we mentioned last week, this is a 2.5% increase in the millage rate, and the new millage rate will be 15.762, and a cost to the homeowner of $82. So do you prefer to go through the other budget items and then just have one vote on all of them?
Well, some have to be done in a certain order.
Okay,
Okay, so.
then it would be the approving the final budget resolution.
Okay, how far do you want us to go now? Through the resolution and the suspension of the per capita tax?
Sure.
Okay. I tried to put a couple of these together, but some of them simply require a separate roll call vote. So I need a motion to approve the district budget, item A, as presented.
As presented, yes.
Oh, come on, folks.
Go ahead. Want me to do it? You wanna do it?
Go ahead.
No, boy?
Oh, fight about it now.
Make a motion that we approve
Thank
the school budget item A is presented.
I'll second.
We do need a roll call on this.
Mr. Hurst.
Aye.
Mr. Talley.
Aye.
Mr. Eby. Ms. Trowbridge.
Aye.
Dr. Martin.
Aye.
Mrs. Fisher. Mrs. Groff.
Aye. Okay, the next is the resolution that goes along with that, with the tax levy. I need a motion to approve this, and there will be a roll call vote.
I move that we approve the 2024 annual tax levy resolution.
Second.
Mr. Talley.
Aye.
Mr. Eby.
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge.
Aye.
Dr. Martin.
Aye.
Mrs. Fisher.
Aye.
Mr. Hurst.
Aye.
Mrs. Groff.
Aye. C and D, I think, can go together. One is to commit the assignment of fund balance, and the other is to suspend the per capita resolution. That can be done with a general vote. So all those, I need a motion to approve C and D.
I move to approve C and D items.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed or abstentions? If not, they are approved. E and F can go together, but they will require a roll call vote. One is for the compensation of CFO, and one is for the compensation for the superintendent. Can I have a motion to approve items E and F?
Motion to approve items E and F.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Eby.
Aye.
Ms. Trowbridge.
Aye.
Dr. Martin.
Aye.
Mrs. Fisher.
Aye.
Mr. Hurst.
Aye.
Mr. Talley.
Aye.
Mrs. Groff.
Aye. Thank you.
I just want to thank you all for your support going through the budget process this year again. So just again, appreciate your insight, your questions, and any direction that you can always provide us.
And we'll throw
Thanks.
that background right out to you.
Yeah, working hard to make those numbers work.
For your work. Okay, then we are down to item G, roadway improvement applications. Mr. Johnson.
Evening.
Hello.
This is all related to the improvements we need to do along Horseshoe Road and Mount Sydney. So there's two different documents, actually four different documents. Two are 950 D1s, the others are 950 AAs. Excuse
What do
me.
you want me to?
Yeah.
If you want to feel free to, I'd say the D1s really are the ones that need the true approval on, because these actually get signed and notarized and that whole thing. If you read down through
I'm
there,
sorry, what's the name of those documents?
there's a
D1 or?
there's a 950 D1 and then there's a 950 AA. There's
And which one is it that we need to approve?
the D1s,
Okay.
yes. So if you scroll down the other way, I'm sorry, up, down, there's names indicated in there of a Stauffer. So that's referencing, when you look at deeds, it's referencing the people that we bought the property from related to the the new Smoketown property back in 1990. So that's why it goes and references those. So SR 1003 is Mount Sidney, SR 1005 is Horseshoe. So there's applications or basically documentations related to both, so in here. So this is something that PennDOT requires that we need to go through and approve and notarize and send off to them as we go through this whole process with them and their approval of this improvement project.
Any
So-
questions? And since they're all posted, we'll have to specify which ones we're approving, so I
Yep.
need a motion to approve item G, applications 950 D1.
I'll so move on that, I'm not repeating it all.
I knew that would happen.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions, if not, they are approved.
All right, wonderful, thank you very much.
Okay, review student handbook draft.
You start or?
Sure, I can get it started. Well, good evening, everyone. What you have in front of you is, as Mrs. Groff said, the new student handbook. Last year, we made significant changes when we looked at our PBIS and changes in how that was all laid out. So last year, a lot of changes. This year, we did a lot of moving around, updating meaning looking at flow, making see what made most sense. We took a lot of what was in the front of the book and moved it to the appendix, which I think as a group we felt made more sense, because if you're a parent or a student, you don't want to get caught in all the craziness of those graphs and charts and things of that nature. So by putting it at the end, if you're so inclined to get that far, you want to look at it, it's there for you anyway. So that's the major shift that you'll see in this book. And then also, as Kitty indicated here, in the appendix, a number of the hyperlinks don't work yet until it gets approved, and we'll finalize that. But again, the hyperlinks are to function as an ease for anyone that wants to navigate the book, clicking on a topic, and then it will take you to that particular point of the book. Any questions about that part of it?
I'll just add to that, I think the team did a really nice job trying to make it more of a user-friendly document this year. Still, it's always a work in progress. Handbooks are tricky because you could they could be 500 pages if you wanted them to be. But you don't want them to be, but you want them to be something that parents and students can use as a true reference. So if you try and put every single thing in it, but there's also things that legally you have to cover. So I think Dr. Mann's point about the charts and the things like that, we wanted to give that information if somebody wanted to go into the weeds, but also not have a parent have to go in and say, what can my kid get expelled for? And have to cross-reference 5 different charts with numbers and stuff like that. So we tried to add that more in the narrative section under the code of conduct. There's some old things that just looked like it had been in there for years. Even stuff that wasn't, it was more like narrative, like something talked about, we checked with the local DA and they said you can, take that out of there, just put, what does the policy say? So there was a lot of cleaning up this year, and that's why it took us an extra, typically this would have come to the board in the first meeting in June for approval, but we wanted to pump the brakes a little bit and just make sure we had it, at least in a condition that we thought was a little bit improved from last year's. So I know the team worked really hard on it.
Comments? Did you read it?
Did I read?
60 pages, 60-some pages. I had a whole bunch of questions, so I'm not going to spend all the board's time tonight to go over those details. But I would like a chance to go over some of them. I agree that if you want to find out what kind of trouble your child might be in because of a certain infraction, it's much easier. It's all in that last one. Unfortunately, until I got there, I was so confused, I didn't know what was happening. So there's still some confusion. There are places where I think that the cross-referencing needs to be fixed. It refers to a board policy without giving the policy number. It even refers to some of what's in here. And there were some acronyms that, unless you read from the beginning, you wouldn't know what it was. So you use the acronym later and the parent wouldn't know. I try to look at this as a parent, okay? So I'd like the opportunity to go over those things I think need a little bit of clarity. But other than that, it is much better than what it was. And that last glossary, I can't remember offhand if there's a specific line item in the table of contents for that, or if it just says student conduct, but I think it should be.
Okay.
So when they look at the front and they say, whatever that section is titled, they know right where it is and don't have to go through the first 30 pages or so. It's mostly organizational, you know, what's a classroom problem and what's handled by the office.
Okay.
And I think the table of contents ought to take them right where they want to go. But I will get in touch with those other small things, okay?
Perfect.
Anyone else have a comment from what they read? And those that read all the way through it, congratulations. It is
Do
a
you want
lot.
an acronym cheat sheet at the end? Because usually you do the acronym
Oh.
first and then you just reference the acronym.
That might not be a bad idea, but you'd have to come through the whole document to
Well,
find
it's like
out.
usually that stuff's at the end of the appendix.
Yeah, that might be
I think
something.
isn't there an abbreviation section in the appendix somewhere? Maybe not for everything in the handbook, but specifically that references discipline-related
Yes, like what is
terminology.
what is,
A glossary,
it's more of a definition of what something is,
Right.
yeah.
but this would be what is PBIS.
Yeah, well,
Right.
way at the beginning of
Yep,
the
it does.
student conduct, they had say PBIS and they tell you what it means. But unless you read it from the beginning, when they mention it later, you have no idea what they're talking about.
And I think we do a sign off that you've read the student handbook.
Yes.
I think employee or students log on and parents log on and you're supposed to say.
There will be this
really?
year,
There will
that
be.
was,
Will be,
I
yeah.
don't think that was,
that last
you're
year?
correct, that should be, that's
It should be an annual.
supposed to be an annual
It's supposed to be an
thing.
annual thing.
They're supposed to read all of this every year?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're just supposed to sign off saying they read
They
it.
received it.
Yeah.
I know how to access it.
Yeah. See, when we had it printed up, I think we were careful to keep it shorter. Now that it's online, you can put all
You
the
just-
stuff in.
We had that conversation as well, it's easy to wanna get a little big, cause you're like, you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a lot to digest, it really
Sure
is,
is.
and I think the better the table of contents, the easier it is for them to get right where they wanna go, without having to go through all, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the nice thing with electronic version is you can
You can word
scan,
search.
you know, for what
Yeah.
keywords,
Right,
whatever.
exactly, just type it right.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to do it on my iPad yet though.
But I think once it's approved, and Katie will clean up
It's
all
like,
those
gee,
hyperlinks.
we can do it,
page
but I
numbers.
don't know how, so that's the same as saying we can't do it, but yeah. It is much better. It is
I would
much
like to
better.
get it out though.
Excuse me?
I would like to get it out. Do you wanna wait till next month? Cause we've got this meeting and then we've got one meeting in July and then
One
we
in
have,
July,
and then we have school starting in August.
in August, well, we'll see how much we can get done by July,
Okay, fine, okay.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments on the finance and operations reports? anything out of the curriculum and instruction reports? Are there any federal funds?
We have federal funds in the report.
No. IU 13, I actually sent you this, but somehow it didn't get there. So I sent it to Mrs. Martin, and she got it, but it won't open. So, we'll get it to you eventually, but I just wanted to give you the highlights. If any of you are interested in attending the PSBA annual conference, this year it does not fall on one of our school board days. It's I think, what is it, a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? If you're interested, please let us know because, you know, we really should get the registration in. And if you're staying all of those days, we need to get your reservations in.
Where is it?
Is that Kalahari?
Kalahari.
Resort.
Yeah.
Pack your swimsuits and
Yeah.
swim trunks.
I will tell you one thing, if you're going, wear comfortable shoes, because I understand that you have to walk great distances to get from the rooms to the meeting rooms, from one meeting room to another. I liked it at Hershey, but, you know, I think they outgrew it, or they claim they outgrew it,
It's a huge, it's a very nice conference center, a lot
Yeah.
of good meeting space. And they have-
but it is big. It is big and it's very spread out.
And the superintendent's conference is coupled with the PSBA like they're.
Oh, okay, I know the legal one for school solicitors is also usually added in there. Yeah, the conference is excellent, usually the sessions are good, and the time that you have to spend meeting and talking with other school board members is priceless, it really is. So please let us know if you're interested. On state issues, there's a big focus now on both charter school issues, which, you know, we're really hoping something comes out of that, and voucher debate. And my fear is that one's going to have to be the deal for the other. So be prepared. Another big issue is limiting cell phones in classrooms. There's a lot of statistics out there showing the advantages of that. And they want to make it something from the legislature. They also have this great idea, I saw just yesterday, that there should be statewide student literacy curriculums. Always worry about when legislators think they could write curriculum. But I think the reasoning makes sense, but that's about all. The only other thing I saw that I thought was of interest was we all know that the COVID affected a lot of kids. We have a lot more kids that we feel need emotional support and various other stress-related reports. And now they're claiming, well, they look back and the level of stress is about what it was 10 years ago. It's still real and we maybe pay more attention to it, but it isn't all COVID related. We all know being a teenager is tough. At least, you know, I think it was pretty tough. For the IU report, the Northern Education Center is up and running. The payment was made by our joint authority. And part of the building is actually being leased out for it's a community clothing bank, but it's also connected with workforce school to work program. So, you know, when they bought the building, they needed no renovations except for minor changes. Everything was up and ready to go. So that's done. Lancaster County Academy, you've seen the budget. It's costing the same this year as last year. We lost 5 students this past year that spring that dropped out, but we've already added 2 more, so, you know, I'm sure we're going to use all of our slots. Graduation had 26 students graduated. 4 were like one credit away, so I'm sure they'll finish before the summer. And our program director, Dr. McFadden, has resigned. And so now we're going to be looking for a new project director or possibly with an assistant because we now have 2 places. So that's those reports. CTC report?
Yeah, just a little bit. I attached the status report, there for next school year as far as in their seats, what's available and their wait list and all that kind of stuff. Also I had 2 students that were students of the month now. They're like 2 months behind, so this was for April. The students of the month, but they were actually both in earlier winning awards also. And thing of interest, they got an ambulance donated to them for training. They were really excited about that. And then also,
The ambulance, is that for the automotive or is that for?
no, it's for the public safety
Okay.
program. And then also this past year, they had 235 students in a co-op program with 175 different employers. And so they earned a total of about $823,000 that this past school year.
They earn, the kids
The
are.
kids, so they
Are
really
they like
wanted that.
paid internships?
Correct,
Oh.
yes. So they were really proud of that the students, they have to have the certain GPAs and all that kind of stuff, you know, in order to go into the co-op program.
Welcome to my
Program,
world.
can't talk today. But it's an excellent program for those kids and
I should think when you get
Makes
paid
money.
internships, that's quite an incentive for them
Yep.
to qualify.
and then usually like 90% of those will then stay at
Stay in that job.
after
Oh,
graduation,
that
so.
is great,
Yep.
that is great.
Just thought that was a point of interest.
Mrs. Groff, if I may, tacking onto that with the paid internships, we actually had one of those students working at the Smoketown project.
Really?
And he has since graduated, he's been hired by the general contractor that he was working for,
Was it? Excellent.
so, yeah.
If that doesn't say success, I don't know what
Right.
does. That's great, thank you. Anything else? Construction team, is there any update? Have you had another meeting? No?
They're meeting this month.
At this time, if there's anyone from the public who would like to address us? Is there a vice president's report?
There is not.
Any other board comments or announcements? If not, the dates are listed, and I will take a motion to adjourn to executive session for legal and personnel reasons.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned, thank you.